Hi, it's Laura here from Sprintax. Did you know that your federal tax residency status can be different to your state tax residency status? It's true. And just because you're considered a non-resident for federal tax doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be considered a non-resident for state tax. But don't worry if you're confused. You can easily determine your state residency status with Sprintax. And in this video, I'm going to show you how. Once you've completed your federal tax return on Sprintax, you will reach step 6. And this is where we will help you determine your state tax residency status. Once you've completed your federal tax return on Sprintax, you will reach step 6. And this is where we determine your state residency status. In order to complete this step, you must provide details of each state you have lived in during the year, plus any periods you spent outside of the US. It is important to list all of your visits in and out of each state. Sprintax will determine your state residency status based on these dates. The tax year in the US starts on January 1st and ends on December 31st, and you will only need to list your visits to different states or outside of the US for the relevant tax year. This is why the first entry date is automatically set to January 1st, and you will not be able to change it. The next thing you need to do is to select an exit date. The exit date you enter should either be the day you entered the US from outside the country or the day you left a particular US state. For example, if you entered the US for the first time on the 31st of January, you should enter the 30th of January as the exit date. This way, a new row will automatically appear and the new entry date will match the actual date you entered the US on. To complete the first row, you must select the type of visit and the accommodation you lived in during this period. You will notice that Sprintax will have automatically pre-selected outside the US in the state field. Continue to list every visit you had to different US states and every occasion you left the US until the final exit date of the tax year, December 31st. Remember that if you're not able to list all the periods you were outside the US during the tax year correctly, you may need to review and change the entry and exit dates you have entered on the residency status step earlier in the Sprintax questionnaire. If you have not listed your visits correctly on that step, you will not be able to list them correctly on the residency determination step either. Finally, you may be wondering what the difference is between a temporary visit and a permanent visit. In short, a temporary visit is a visit for a fixed and limited period, after which you intend to return to the place you consider as your permanent home or location. Meanwhile, a permanent visit is a visit with a permitted unlimited term. Generally, your visit cannot be considered permanent if the duration of your stay is limited by the type of visa that you hold. In order for your visit to be permanent, you must have totally severed all personal ties with your prior state or country of residence. And that's how you complete step 6 on Sprintax. Remember, if you have any questions, you can access our knowledge base or speak to our live chat team. See you in the next video, where we will complete the final step, e-filing your federal tax return with Sprintax.